Step 1. Make sure that there are somewhere between 3 to 4 players. Ready? Let's start. You are a representative. You have a bill that you want to get passed. Each player should take a cheap cardboard box. Four, find out where your representative is from on the house board and place the tiny wooden coaster with a cylinder on top of it. 5. Next, try to look for a deck of blue cards. Those are state cards. They are merely reference cards. 6. Now let's create a committee. To create a committee for your bill, distribute 12 blue cards randomly to each player. If you draw your own starting state, please put it back into the state card deck and draw another one. 7. What's the simple majority of 12 states? 7, right? You can choose 7 states as your final committee states. 8. Put a cylinder on each of the 7 committee states that you selected. So on the board, you should have 8 cylinders. 9. Record all the votes from each of the states. If the state is Democratic, write the name of the state and the number of votes under the Democratic column. Remember, unlike the states you acquire in the other phases of the game, you get all the votes from both parties within the state. 10. Put the state cards away. 11. Tally up the number of Democratic states you have and the number of Republican states you have. 12. So let's make sense of it holistically. If you have 3 Republican states and 5 Democratic states, you are +2 Democrat, because you have 2 more Democratic states than Republican states. So if you're a +2 Democrat, naturally, you're -2 Republican. 13. Let's go into the House of Representatives. The first thing you want to do is roll the dice to determine the order of player turns. 14. Now look at the red deck of cards. No, don't touch, just look. Because it's the first turn, there is no current event card yet. 15. Okay, do you remember your cheap cardboard box? Awesome. Inside there are sticks and cylinders, right? You want to put a stick. Why? Think of the board as a platform for debate, because naturally this bill is being discussed and debated over by other representatives. A stick represents a microphone. By placing a stick on a political party of a state, you are making them discuss your bill. 17. You can only place 1 stick each turn. 19. So now begins the second rotation. Remember, current event cards now apply. 20. The first thing you should always do on your turn is check if you have any microphones on the board. If you do, then you can attempt to get the party votes within the state. 21. Here's an example. Say, on your first turn, you put a stick on Hawaii's Democrats. On your second turn, you may attempt to get those votes. How? 22. By rolling the dice. The state always rolls first, meaning another player will roll for the state. Your job is to try to roll higher than or equal to the state roll. If it passes, then you get the votes. Simple enough. But wait, there's more. Here's how your committee states factor in. If you have 3 Republican states and 5 Democratic states, then you're +2 Democrat, right? So when you're trying to get a Democratic state like Hawaii, it should naturally be easier. So because you're +2 Democrat, your roll gets a +2 bonus. This makes it easier for you to get Hawaii. On the contrary, if you are trying to get a Republican state, your roll gets a -2 penalty. 23. Let's say on your second turn, you roll and get Hawaii. The first thing you want to do is write Hawaii down on the Democratic column, and write how many Democrat votes from Hawaii you got next to it. Then remove the stick and place a cylinder on the Democratic side of Hawaii on the board. By adding Hawaii in your Democratic column, you are now +3, because you have 6 Democratic states and 3 Republican states. Remember, if you roll and get a state, you get the votes from the party you targeted, but the affinity from the state. So I can get the 10 Democratic votes from Florida, but I will write it down under Republican. This also means that getting all the votes from Florida, 10 Democrats and 17 Republicans, will require me to add Florida on the sheet twice under Republican. 24. For parties with a huge number of representatives in the state, like California's Democrats, you need to put more sticks before you can roll. 25. At the end of every turn, put a stick. 1 stick, 1 turn. Sadly, you only have 10 minutes to play this game, so this definitely is as far as you'll go. Winning in this case means getting the most number of votes. Anyways, this was the step-by-step guide on how to play the first committee and House of Representative phases. Bye, kids!